Welcome back. Turning now to your weekend forecast as we take a live look this morning from Charlotte Motor Speedway. See some rain on that camera and very gloomy. I feel like almost it's gotten even more gloomy looking, Brittany, but it might just be the sun coming up. We can really see a picture of what it's looking like out there.
It's just such a gross start. I never liked this to be the way that we come back together to see each other, that I'm giving a bad forecast.
We always like to bring the sunshine, you know what I mean? But, you know, or like the nice sunrise sky, but not today.
Not today, but it's going to get better by tomorrow. So at least that's some good news that the second half of the weekend won't be kind of as gross as what we're seeing today. We are seeing that light to moderate rain, pretty consistent across most of the area this morning, although we are seeing some breaks in a few spots. So it's not raining literally every second of the day for every single spot. But although we do have some pockets of some heavier rain right now, I'm moving through portions here of Iredell County up toward Alexander County and even over toward areas in Richmond County, and with some breaks a little bit further to our south. Now more rain on the way this morning and then more breaks by the second half of the afternoon. But here's something important to note. We do not have a high risk of severe weather later on today by any stretch of the imagination. Your impacts are very, very low. And the highest impacts are for areas along in south and southeast of the Charlotte metro area. So be mindful of that. Our severe weather risk, in fact, over the last 24 hours and really 48 hours at that, has been consistently trimmed back even more so by the National Weather Service. This is the one that came out this morning, and I would expect this to be trimmed back even more so. So you see this medium risk, it only encompasses this very small sliver here of Chesterfield County, and along in southeast of Charlotte, you can see that low risk here really only including parts here of Mecklenburg County and down to the south and east. And this is because really this orange shading is pretty much hovering exactly where I'm expecting this warm front to set up later on today, and that is going to be really the dividing line between who could see some of those strong storms and who is unlikely to. And it all has to do with the wedge, something you've heard before, that cold air damming. We'll get to that in a second. So widespread rain right now. We do start to taper this off as we get closer to the latter half of the morning. And then here's that kind of afternoon time frame that we could see some of those storms with that potential to become strong. By the latter half of the day, so 6, 7, 8 o'clock. This is actually when the cold front in itself is moving through. But in the Charlotte area, we are going to be wedged in with cold enough air with that east side of the mountains that we are not going to see that potential by 8 o'clock when the actual front is moving through for any of those storms to become strong. So really there's a small sliver of that air right around that 1, 2 o'clock time frame for those same spots. Again, Chesterfield County, Anson County, Richmond County, that could become strong to severe. So when you're looking at these risks here, gusty winds, very low risk of a spin up, small hail, it's really for that small sliver of the area. Now the flooding risk is low for most of the region just because we had so much rain this morning on top of what we already had on Wednesday. And here's kind of the setup. Here's where the front is right now. In fact, as you look at this orange shading, what we have currently happening right now is severe weather from Myrtle Beach all the way to the panhandle of Florida. As this front lifts northward, this is exactly what's expected to happen. We have warm air over towards Cheraw and Rockingham, while we're wedged in with the cooler air here in Charlotte. So that's where the storms are expected to become strong to severe. Tomorrow, we're cooler once again as the front finally pushes all the way through, but then temperatures are actually expected to plummet after the front passes by Monday and Tuesday morning, eventually dropping into the 30s. So today, rain this morning, things clear out by the afternoon, a few storms linger. Some of those could become strong, but especially south and east of Charlotte. We'll talk more about that, of course, coming up throughout the show. Overnight, don't forget to set those clocks forward an hour. We spring forward tonight, going back to daylight saving time. Breezy, 60, sunshine tomorrow on your Sunday, and then we're quickly warming things up in the afternoons for the upcoming week, but you do need to prepare those plants for Monday and Tuesday mornings with some patchy frost in the forecast.